All right, welcome into this edition of the Milwaukee Bucks on Tap podcast. Corey Moen, Evan Bernd. Evan, how we doing?
We're doing all right. We're in the time of just no basketball's annoying. Nothing going on. We're in withdrawals right now, but we're chugging through it.
Well, that's not necessarily true. I mean, the big three's going on right now.
That is true. I did see them live one time at Pfizer. Pretty interesting to watch, not gonna lie.
I'm going to be honest, though. Ever since the big three came out and the hype that came with it, I kind of forget that it's still going on.
Oh, I still forget it goes on until I see someone post like ex-vet dunks and like, oh yeah, they're still along. But Slam Ball came back. I don't know if you saw that.
Ooh.
If you remember Slam Ball back in the day?
So I didn't watch it. I never watched it live. I've seen the highlights of it.
I just watched the YouTube compilations. That was always a fun time.
Oh, yeah. So, obviously we're all going through basketball withdrawals. I think the one domino that's really left to fall is Damian Lillard. And the Miami Heat are doing everything they can to try to secure Damian Lillard. They're really trying to sneak Tyler Hero in there.
They are, and I feel like you're going to have to give him up or someone like that. Like, there's no way.
No, but here's the problem, though. The Blazers don't want him.
Exactly.
So they're like, so it's basically like when you say something out loud and you say something quiet, where it's like, here, we'll give you 5 first-round picks. We'll give you 3 second-round picks, Tyler Hero. And then we'll give you, like, that's what it feels like they're doing. It's just like, wait, what was that last one?
Yeah, what was that last one? The picks? No.
No. What player did you say? Oh, Tyler Hero. Oh, no thanks. We'll keep. We don't want him. No, but what I read today was they're higher on Nikola Jovic. Is that his name?
Yep.
It's not Jokic. It's Jovic.
Yep.
The young player from the Heat. The Heat are more inclined to keep him. But
yeah, their last season draft pick.
But yeah, so that deal, that domino has yet to fall. Summer league's over. We're just kind of now waiting for the season to start.
Yep.
We're also waiting for, and I'm not forgetting this, is that hopefully Giannis signs his extension because he's up in, I believe, 2 years. So I think this is going to be kind of a massive summer for him to see if he signs his extension or if he's gonna, maybe he's gonna be one of those guys who's like, let's just see how the team does this year. But again, it's a big year.
It's peak of the prime, but that kind of leads us into what we're going to talk about with Thanasis. So hopefully that sparks an interest. I think teams are starting to figure out that Thanasis signs. When Thanasis signs, usually Giannis will sign because Thanasis got offers from other places, and they're all the places that have all the money, like the Knicks and the Clippers. I don't know if the Lakers did, but I know some other big name team where it's like, if you're going to offer Thanasis a deal, that means you're going to try to get Giannis as well.
Yeah. So, and the thing with that is that, it's all fine and all that the Knicks want to offer him and the Clippers want to offer him and the Lakers want to offer him and all this other stuff. There's just one problem though. Giannis just isn't a big city guy.
Exactly.
He's not signing with any of those places. He will never sign with the Knicks after how they treated. I believe they drafted him, right?
They drafted Thanasis the year after, so 2014 would have been for him.
Mm-hmm.
They would have signed him, I heard, in the 2013 draft because of his last name. Because other people, I read that somewhere. Like, people were interested in just drafting him, like, second round because of his name. I read that somewhere. I think it was in the Giannis book. I think the book that I'm reading, that I've been reading for 2 years. But yeah, anyways.
Yeah, so he won't go to any of those places. I think I can confidently say that. I don't even know how much money those two teams have. So, like, if the Clippers try to sign him, I would assume that they're going to get rid of Paul George and Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, this has got to be like the last year for them, or to like figure it out, because they've been told to like take the regular season serious. I don't know if you saw that recently, but
I did see it. Yeah, they have
Ty Lue, I think, said that.
Oh, they did. Oh, Ty Lue said that. Okay, I thought it was also the NBA too, where they're like, guys, you have to play 65 games.
Yeah, someone said that where it's like, you guys got to be taking this seriously because they're just sitting doing nothing.
I don't know. I feel like, but here's my whole thing with that though. I feel like it's more Kawhi than Paul George.
Oh, I do 100%.
Like people call them the load management brothers, but it's like I feel like Kawhi load manages more than Paul George. I feel like Paul George most of the time is hurt.
He's just hurt. Kawhi is hurt.
Like he doesn't play back-to-backs.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It is probably going to be the last year for the Clippers because I just, the way that roster is constructed, it's just very confusing to me. Russell Westbrook is back on the squad.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't know how many other players I can name, like Terrence Mann.
Yeah, they got rid of a lot of it to get Paul George, giving up Shea. Oof.
And then now James Harden wants to go to the Clippers, so it's like that's going to make it even more of a circus. If James Harden wants to join the 2-0. I don't even know what his game plan is either, because it's just for James Harden, it's just one of those things where it's just like, like he doesn't want to, like he just wants to join a really good team, but
instead of
but not really contribute to it because he's going to put up numbers, but at this point, it's just what's James Harden going to provide you in the playoffs?
Yeah. Nothing. A good game or two.
Yeah.
Give him some credit, but yeah.
So yeah, kind of going back to the Thansis thing. I don't think either of us are surprised. Honestly, I didn't even know he was a free agent. I thought it was a 2-year, but maybe
yeah, it kind of caught me off guard. I just saw Thansis resign, so I'm like, all right, that's happening. I know he likes it here.
It was predictable. I mean, there was no way that he was going to sign anywhere else.
No.
Ron Johnson's on the team. Thansis is not going to sign anywhere else.
Yep. Take care of the family.
Yeah, I literally said it. I was like, the first person that's probably going to be, that will likely be re-signed, that was like a slam dunk to be re-signed, was Thansis. It was just way like too easy.
Yep, and that's said and done. So got him for another year. I'm hoping that again just kind of sparks the Giannis sign early, just so I can be fine for another couple years and not have to worry.
Also, we also got to put the rumors to rest as well too.
Yeah, it just gets so annoying. Like I know it's not gonna happen, but it's just like on that very, very, very low chance. But yeah, he's invested so much here. I just, again, don't see it coming. But you never know. But think positive.
No, I think he wants to make it. No, I think he wants to make a difference here. I think he already has.
Oh yeah,
with some of the work he's done. He hasn't done what LeBron's done yet, which is the I Promise School.
Mm-hmm.
But based on what I've heard, it feels like that is now I promise to fail another math class.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy, not going to lie.
I mean, look, a lot of people are, of course, going to be defending LeBron where it's like, well, I mean, it doesn't, Rome wasn't built in a day. It doesn't take like that. Like it takes a while to just build up a school. It's just, okay, but 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
No kid pass a math class for 3 years. Like at least one smart kid. Even the worst schools have at least 5 kids that are going to accomplish.
A couple kids who are still going to be. Well, yeah, I've seen that after my years of teaching.
Yeah, I mean, but there was no kid who graduated. I mean, I don't even know who that's on, and I don't even know if LeBron was aware of it. But people are already mad enough the fact that. LeBron already left Ohio for LA, and then the taxpayers would be fronting most of that school. And now it's just really, this is where our tax dollars are going to? There's no kid who can pass math. No, there's no tutors in that place. Honestly, I was the worst math student in school. And yet, I was able to somehow find some tutors who could help me pass math.
Find a way to pass somehow.
Jesus.
But yeah, so we'll whenever that happens, if it happens in the near future, we'll obviously have to come back and make one. But you want to get into our main event?
Yeah, let's do it. So, MarJon Beauchamp,
yeah,
scored 83 points in the Jamal Crawford crossover event. By the way, sick name. Yeah, I watched some of the highlights.
I did too.
Looked really good. This is gonna be a season. I'm telling you, I might be overreacting this slightly, but 83 points in a pro-am, I don't think it's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, and so many people just go, "Oh, well, it was this or it was this," and they act like the guys that he's playing have never played basketball. Like some of those guys are doing really well, but people just always shoot back to, well, they're just playing plumbers and carpenters, and it's like these guys are high-end basketball players. They don't just pick these guys for nothing. But yeah, I was watching some of the highlights. He was lights out for three. I think that was my biggest notice, I guess, from watching the highlights. I had to really dig to find his stats. But I found he was 32 of 45 from the field, and 8 of 17 for three. So just under 50%, but shot 32 of 45 from the field.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I think there are people who, I mean, look, 83 points is a lot. And if there are people out there who are going to say that, well, it just looked like the open gyms that NBA players have, I'm not necessarily going to deny that. Like, these are all talented guys, but I mean, let's be honest here. He scored 83, but how much effort was really given defensively?
Yes.
I mean, to shoot that much from three and from the field, it's just it felt like everybody's gonna kind of get theirs. Like I think any NBA player could put up those kind of stats with as little defensive resistance as there is in those particular we'll call them scrimmages.
Yeah, I just think it's kind of funny how, not like funny, but interesting how he goes from playing in the NBA, averaging like the 5 points that he did this season, and then it just shows like how good NBA players are. Like obviously we all know they're good, they're professionals, but like to see the transition from like a gym of these higher end players and then that one lower on the bench NBA player, it's crazy to see the transition that these guys have. But yeah, I noticed in some of the clips watching it, like there were some plays that had some pretty contested shots. But yeah, then there was a few where it's like MarJon's going to shoot again, and he was hitting them. So it's not like he shot 45 shots and made like 15 of them. Like he made the wide open shots that he had. But yeah, it's always funny to see the Bleacher Report notification of MarJon Beauchamp breaks record. It was like interesting. Now I have to watch this. But yeah, beating Isaiah Thomas's 81 from I think 2 years ago. But yeah, always fun to see MarJon putting up numbers anywhere.
And that was kind of in Isaiah Thomas's wash days.
Yes.
Where he was just like out of the NBA. He wasn't playing. Like there was no team who really wanted to sign him.
Yep. They gave up on me quote at the end of the game.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things where like really any NBA any NBA player, current or former, could go out there and give you buckets. You know, that's why everybody probably would want to play like the last player on the bench because they think, oh, I could beat this guy, but
yep,
you can.
Scalabrine proved that wrong. You were going to say that too?
The Scalabrine quote, yes.
I'm closer to LeBron than you are to me.
It's not wrong. I mean, he's not wrong. I mean,
not at all.
People try to play Brian Scalabrine in a pickup basketball game, and he just destroyed him.
Yep. Like 11-0, 11-2, and it's like, first of all, he's already super tall, so it's like you're also challenging a guy who's got multiple inches on you too, but it's funny just to see like how people think that they could just beat anyone. I remember it used to be Joakim Noah was the guy that people were like, yeah, I could definitely be Joakim Noah.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, he was the player that people were talking about for a while because of his shooting form, where he like shot it with a 2-hand push off.
Okay, but I've watched Joakim Noah play defense. That man will lock you down.
Yeah, he's a deep boy player.
Like I remember this. His defensive stance against LeBron in the 2011, I believe it was the Eastern Conference Finals, Eastern Conference Semis, or whatever it was.
So.
Like that really low defensive stance that he used to have. Like, okay, so yeah, Joakim Noah, he probably didn't have the greatest shooting form in the world, but I'm telling you, you will not score a bucket off him. That man locked people down defensively when he was in the league.
Yeah, he's a lockdown defender, defensive player of the year, 2-time like first team defensive one of the years that he won it too. But yeah, I've seen that video then of him with, it was kind of resurfacing. I don't remember what it's from, but where he was playing like pickup with Booker.
I remember that.
We don't double team and pickup, where it's like, okay. He's like, yeah, we do.
I remember that. I remember that because that's where the Suns were like really bad.
Yes.
So like Devin Booker's like, dude, I gotta be the main option every night. Can I just shoot once? Just give me like 20. Give me 20 shots.
Yep, and then gets mad because then they interviewed Kobe, I think, about it too, and there was something like, "Do you double team practice?" He's like, "Oh yeah, we do," and triple team sometime. But yeah, it's just funny to see the the effort that people really think that they could beat these guys. Even like a high-end college guy, there's no way. Maybe some of them, but
no. And look, this will help MarJon, okay? Because he has gotten strong over the summer, as we previously mentioned. He's on about, what do you say, 15 pounds? So
yeah,
about
something like that.
Yeah, so 15, 20 pounds of muscle. And I think that's really going to help him. I think that'll help him get more playing time this year. I think that's probably given. He's probably going to play a lot more than he did last year.
Yeah, I do too. Especially with the effort of Griffin.
True. And, with his intensity at the defensive end, I just think that this will be a
good breakout
I'll say a coming out year for MarJon.
Yeah, I'm hoping in the next like year or two, he has like these nice seasons just to like be comfortable for the future of the Bucks, and like hoping that this could be like our next guy, especially with Giannis mentoring him this summer and hopefully in the near future as well. Obviously throughout the season, but any off-season stuff that they do, I'm hoping it's like a passing of the torch, because it's hard to find franchise guys these days, especially when you draft them, and hope that they become who you want them to.
Yeah, and the good part for MarJon is that he's surrounded by veterans. He's got Robin Lopez there. He's got Middleton. He's got Holiday. He's got, Jay Crowder. Giannis, obviously. Lopez.
All different positions, and it's helpful.
So, I think for a young player, I think that's exactly what you need. Okay, you need – it's hard to kind of fill a team with veterans, but you got to have at least 1 to 2 veterans that you can kind of lean on. And I think that's the biggest problem in the NBA now, is that they're kind of doing away with that in terms of, there are players who can still play high level basketball, but, they're just not being signed. I'm not saying like Dwight Howard would be like a good veteran presence.
Yeah.
But a Kemba Walker type where, all right, he's not going to see many games. He's not going to play many minutes, but like a mentor for the young players just trying to figure it out in the NBA.
Yeah, it's mainly the presence that they have on them, again, whether or not they're going to play. I'm assuming that's what they use Udonis Haslem for these last 40 years that he's been on the team. But, it's the, not like the thought that counts, but it's the strategy that they have all these guys who are, again, still capable of playing in the NBA, but then can also help out with the younger guys, because the Bucks are like either old or like super young. Like there's no like mix to it, so it kind of helps a lot with their 2 rookies and 2 second-year guys that have potential to become very decent. So it should help, and I'm hoping it works out for MarJon.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that we can kind of allude to is, would those players, would they be able to put aside their ego to take on that role. Because there are a lot of players like, dude, I used to be like an all-star. Like, I used to be like a really good player. Now it's like I'm being resorted to, being like the 12th or 13th guy off the bench. It's like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I would say out of all the Bucks veterans, I think all of them are capable of doing it, especially like Robin Lopez too, where they don't have a guy who's like trying to make a comeback. It's like they know their role, they know their ability, they know everything about their game. And I think it'll be helpful just with some of these new veterans coming into to kind of help with the younger guys. And I know that they're totally capable of doing it.
Yeah, and I don't know like how many games Robin Lopez is going to see this year. Like I know they signed him and everything, but I don't know if they really signed him to purely be the backup center.
Yeah, I don't think so, but
I mean, I think he'll play a lot of. I don't know. I think he'll play a lot of games, but I don't know. At the same time, like we see a lot of minutes.
Yeah, it's going to be either like garbage minutes or like the less than 10 minutes would be my guess. Because I don't know. Well, who are they going to? Yeah, it'll be a mix of Brooke and then someone else will have to play the small ball center. So something like that will have to work. But yeah, it's not going to be Brooke comes out, here comes Robin every game, and he'll play 25 minutes. There's no way.
No, although I still hope he has that little hook shot that he
I do
too. Orlando.
That deep three. I'm hoping the T is back. The celebrations from the Lopez brothers are top tier. For those who do not know, top tier celebrations. But I think Robbins is better, to be honest.
However, it's probably not coming back is the WWE style wrestling in the Bucks locker room, because if you missed it, if you were living under a rock, Wesley Matthews signed with the Atlanta Hawks a couple weeks ago.
Yep. Yeah. We had mentioned their last one, and when I saw that, I kind of thought the figures, because they were the top two guys doing that. Him and because they did that in Portland together.
Well, it's not gonna happen anymore.
Great.
Okay. It's just so I guess now that I think about it, so I guess, are you surprised by that news?
No, it was just kind of random. We had mentioned, I think on the last one we mentioned like why did they bring him back to begin with? Same with like George Hill and stuff like that. But it was, he saw his minutes, he had his good moments, but who they picked up like Malik Beasley and Andre Jackson Jr. I feel like it was just kind of meant to be, where probably didn't really need him as much anymore on the bench. They have plenty of veterans. Sure, it would have been nice to have him for that vet presence, but you got enough who play that can help them.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, it was kind of I don't know if it was a news dump, but it was like, hey, by the way, Wesley Matthews signed with the Hawks. I was like, I didn't know.
It was so random.
I didn't even know he's a free agent.
I didn't either.
It's just, oh, okay, Wesley Matthews on the Hawks now. All right.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks, but at the same time, he provided good moments for the Bucks. I think everybody's going to remember the Christmas Day game.
I was there at that game. That was one of the best games I've ever been to.
So, good luck to Wesley in Atlanta. The last piece of news that we have, Evan, we have a new sideline reporter.
Yes, we do.
So, it was just announced a few hours ago that Melanie Ricks is taking over for Zora Stevenson as the Milwaukee Bucks sideline reporter.
Yep.
What is your reaction?
I don't mind it. If those who don't know, she's been our in-game host for quite a few years now. I know she's been with the Bucks organization like her whole life, but I think it was a good pickup. She's got a lot of energy, and I feel like the Bucks need. Zora was great, and I really like Zora, but she obviously got something a lot bigger, more nationalized, which makes sense because a lot of people are going to like her. But I think out of the pickups they got, it was good. I'm just kind of curious who's going to be their new in-game host. But I don't mind it. I think it was a good pickup. She's good. She's high energy.
You're right about that. And obviously she filled in last year for Zora. Again, I don't know all the intricacies of, being at that level, like being a sideline reporter for an NBA team, like that just shows how talented you are. And I
Yes.
thought that she was like really, really talented. I really think every sideline reporter who does that, they're pretty talented. So, it did suck to lose Zora because obviously she's kind of been there through all the moments.
Yep.
The Bucks championship, and kind of filling in for Lisa when she was on assignment for the Big Ten Network as a play-by-play. So, it sucked to lose her, but at the same time, I do think the Bucks are, getting a good sideline reporter in Melanie Ricks.
Yeah, it was kind of, I'm not going to lie, it was kind of surprising that they got her. I wasn't expecting her to get the call up in a way, but I don't mind it. I don't hate it. I feel like the Bucks and the Brewers kind of get lucky a lot with getting announcers, pregame, postgame reporters who get high attention, which is sometimes awesome because you see them, but then it kind of takes away from them just being with the Brewers and or the Bucks. But like Brian Anderson and some of those guys, but it's cool, especially when the people that they're replacing also have the experience as well. But sucks to see Zora go, but I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, and as you mentioned before, it's like the Bucks and the Brewers. They've some legends in the game too.
Yes,
like you talk about like Jim Paschke, and even going on the radio, you get Bob Uecker calling games for the Brewers for that many years. And I think the Brewers have been fortunate, especially to have Brian Anderson for as many years as they've had him.
Did they not have Matt Vasgersian too earlier on?
They did have Matt Vasgersian. I think he might have been before Darren Sutton.
Yeah, he was very short stint with the Brewers, but yeah, the recognition Milwaukee sports get. I don't really know too much about like the Packers stuff because I don't really follow the Packers, but for sure those two, especially Brian Anderson doing postseason baseball, basketball as well, playoff wise. NBA. I don't think he's in the finals, but yeah, they get recognized for it.
Well, it's funny that you should mention that because Kevin Harlan does our preseason games. So, and I forget. I gotta look this up. I think he might be from Wisconsin. Yeah, you can take a quick peek. I thought, and maybe he might just do the games, but I thought he was.
I know. Yes, he is. He's from Milwaukee.
All right, so that's part of the reason why he does it. But it's like, Wisconsin, they just.
I didn't know that actually until right now.
I mean, they've done announcing like really, really well. And it's good to see not only our play-by-play announcers getting some national work, but if you forget that, the sideline reporters too. I mean, we've already mentioned Zora Stevenson, but remember the first sideline report he had was Katie George, who was only in Milwaukee for one season before she got a job at the ACC network.
Correct. Yep. And we had Tilly Hughes before that, who had, I think, the longest stint in the last good chunk of the Bucks in the 2010s era. But yeah, they've been bouncing around the higher things.
Yeah, and you're a Telly guy, right? You said you saw.
I like Telly Hughes. I like Telly Hughes.
Yeah, but now we get Sophia Minard, who's like really talented at what she does.
Yeah, because she used to do the Bucks too until she primarily took over the Brewers.
Yeah, and it's weird to say, but Sophia Minard's been there for like 10 years.
Yeah, she's been there for a while.
Oh,
yeah, she used to do both teams, and then they hired her, I think, full time for the Brewers, and then been doing on and off stuff there, which is one. I don't know if that was who came in, but in the meantime, when she left around like Thon Maker and Malcolm Brogdon years.
But by the way, I'm just gonna say it. That would be a tough job.
It would be.
Baseball every single game, 162 games worth of stories,
and then go do 82 games of basketball.
Dude,
I mean, that's the dream, but that is hard.
I don't even know how you can keep up the energy to do that.
Makes sense why she just chose the one.
Like literally, people. And again, there are people, who went to Whitewater, and people around Wisconsin who wanted to get into broadcasting. But I was talking with one of my friends. It was like, dude, that's such a hard field to get into. Even if you have a foot in the door, like I didn't realize how hard broadcasting was to get in until you needed just all this extra stuff.
Yep.
Like I get about the demo reel and stuff like that, but it's like, it's it was a hard field to get into.
It is, but yeah, we've been blessed. There was another thing I wanted to mention. I don't know if you saw it, but Greece had a scrimmage against Croatia.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear about that?
I did not.
You want to see Giannis's stat line for this game?
Yeah, sure, for sure. Go ahead.
All right, so they had a scrimmage versus Croatia. I think on like the 28th or 29th.
Yep.
Giannis, 63 points, 22 rebounds, 13 assists, 8 blocks, 5 steals, shot 22 from 29 from the field, 12 for 13 from free throw. And what do you think his 3-point percentage was?
I'm going to say he missed 2 threes.
He shot 7 for 11.
That's how you know, like when Giannis starts making threes, I'm like, oh, he's gonna be on one tonight. It like you just always have a feeling because if Giannis is like breaking a bunch of threes, I'm like, well, he's gonna have to do most of his damage from the inside. If Giannis makes threes, if he makes 3, and again, it's hard for him to do this every game. But we know that once he starts like hitting threes, you're not stopping him. It's one of those things where it's just you just got to let this 60 piece in your face happen.
Yeah, I wish Giannis could be a guy who could make like 2 to 3 threes like consistently. That would be because that's like realistically, again, you got 3 3-pointers, another 9 extra points. Some of those games where he gets 50 but missed 4 threes, and you add like he's one of those guys who, if he just had a shot, he could get 60. And like, there's so many guys who are like, you would think shouldn't have 60, but he should, but he's missing that one thing. But again, we can't have everything. There's that quote. He's like, I can't shoot threes. God bless me with whatever that quote was that he had, but got to let him off of something.
Okay. I got to ask a dumb question here, but was the finals performance? I know he's had really good performances, but what was the finals one? His like was that his one vintage performance? Like, I'm trying to remember if he had one in like the regular season. Like, I know he's dropped like 40 points and stuff, but is he? I don't know if he's dropped like a Brandon Jennings type stat line, a 55 to 60 point game or whatever.
Yeah, I know he had his career high this last season with the Wizards. But like, it's always one of those games where it's like it's against the Wizards. It's not like they're playing some high end like nationalized TV game and he drops like 55. But a lot of his like high scoring games comes against teams where it's like not many people are going to remember that one. He did though, which irritates me to this day, that his first like 50 some career high game was against the Sixers and they lost, where they had it near the end. When Ben Simmons was good.
Know what you're talking about in March 2019.
Yep, where like Giannis dunked on Ben Simmons and Ben Simmons dunked on him back and they lost by like 4 or 5 points. That irritated me, but I would say one of his bigger games was that finals one, and then just his few where he drops 50. There's a couple where like he like that step back 3 he had against the Nets to like take Kareem's record for the Bucks, and it like took the lead or tied the game late in the game, like step back 3 at the buzzer, but it's always against the lower end team sometimes.
Hey, real quick, I heard this is also the offseason where people are once again gassing up Ben Simmons, saying this is the most healthy he's been since the 2019 to 2020 season.
All right, show me.
Well, I'll believe it when I see it. Okay, they do this the media does this every year. Just Ben Simmons shoots 1-3, gets 1-3 filled. And it's just like, oh my God, Ben Simmons added this to his bag this offseason. No, he's not. He's not adding a 3-point shot to his repertoire. It's not going to happen. And then it's just, what was the other thing? And then the healthy thing, it's like, yeah, he's had back issues for 2 years.
Uh-huh.
It's like, Ben Simmons, his agent's saying he's healthy. Of course his agent's going to say that. What's he going to say? Yeah, he's got a debilitating back injury. He's going to retire in the next 8 to 12 months.
Yeah, he's done.
What else are you going to say?
I always forget about Ben Simmons until I see something about him. Like, oh, yeah.
Tuesday is off-season workouts. It's like, Ben Simmons hit the gym. Well, yeah,
as he should be because he's a professional athlete.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's a professional basketball player. I would hope he could lift 45s. Jesus, I struggle with 10s. So, Evan, you got anything else?
I don't. So we're just, again, getting ready for season to start, preseason. Again, still a little bit of ways away, but it is August now, which is weird to say. But yeah, we're hoping for maybe a Giannis extension soon, but otherwise we'll wait for something to happen.
Yes, we will. So, all right, guys, thank you guys for tuning in to the Milwaukee Bucks Untapped podcast. And what do I always say?
We'll see you when we see you.
Boom.